Hello everyone, welcome to Grace Hello Rabbitry. I am PJ, and you know, recently I was out on a hike, and as I was coming back into the visitor center after the long walk, there was a couple of gentlemen walking around. They saw me and they asked me, "Do you drive that Grace Hello Rabbitry van?" I told them that I did. And I was sat back for just a moment because then they proceeded to ask me, "What is a rabbitry?" I've been raising rabbits for 20 plus years, and so that kind of set me back for a minute. I guess I just take that for granted that everyone knows what a rabbitry is. So for those of you who are new to my channel, I do have a ARBA registered rabbitry in Northwest Arkansas. And what that means is a rabbitry is a facility or somewhere that raises rabbits. And that's what I do. I raise rabbits for show. I raise rabbits to produce quality breeding stock, and what originally got me into raising rabbits is I raised them for the manure to go out into my vegetable garden. And then from there I got into quality rabbits and moved into showing, which means I compete breed quality, and I do compete mostly here in the mid-south and mid-central United States. I travel to Missouri, Illinois, Kansas, Iowa sometimes, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Tennessee. I've been to Kentucky. I will travel further than that for like nationals or ARBA convention, but locally, normally routinely, these are the states that I travel through. I raise New Zealand's currently in all varieties, black, blue, broken, red, and white. And I also raise silver fox, mostly in black, but I do have a few red. I don't know where that came from. As far as I know, no one has a COD on red silver fox. But I raise silver fox in black and blue, and I hope maybe someday soon I can get some chocolate. With that said, hey, it is almost time to start breeding for fall babies. And so I wanted to do a 5-part series. Today will be the first part, where I introduce you to my breeders or my breeding stock in each of the varieties. I'm going to break this up into 5 different videos. We're going to start out today. I'm going to show you the New Zealand whites. And then in preceding episodes, I'm going to show you the blue, the broken, the red, and my silver fox. So without anything else to say, let's go ahead, go out to the barn, and meet the white New Zealands. Okay, here we are. We are out in the rabbitry where I keep my breeding New Zealands. And today we are going to start with the New Zealand whites. This is August. It is hot, and so I'm going to have to go through this pretty quickly because I had to turn the fan off so that you could hear me. But these ladies would sure like to have their fan back on. So here we are right here. This is our first white New Zealand doe. This is Cotton Plant. Cotton Plant is actually a homegrown doe. She came out of the first breeding of Garnet and Zircon. Both Garnet and Zircon have been sold, and they have gone to another breeder here in Arkansas. The cotton plant is the doe that I kept out of the first litter that I got out of those two. And I showed her, and she has earned her Grand Championship legs. So she is a Grand Champion White New Zealand doe. She's had, I think, 2 litters? Maybe only 1. I can't remember off the top of my head. I know she's had 1 because I have a daughter of hers out there. And I think I have 1 more litter out of her too. Okay, next up is Ellis, and Ellis is a new doe. You haven't met her yet. Well, I mean, you kind of have. If you follow my Facebook fan page, then you've seen pictures of her. Back in June, I guess it's been about 6 weeks now, I went to Wisconsin, and while I was on that road trip, I circled through Illinois, and I bought this doe bred and brought her home. She did have a litter of 8. She was bred to one of the breeder's bucks, not one of mine. She had a litter of 8. She had them on the wire. They were all alive, so I picked them up and I put them in the nest box. She didn't pull any fur, which I had hoped she would see them in the nest box and pull fur, but she didn't. And after about 2 days, I realized she was not going to feed them. So I fostered them off to another doe, and unfortunately, now that they are about 2 weeks old, I only have 2 of those left. I should have fostered them as soon as I found them on the wire, but I was hoping she would be a good mom. Now, I will breed her again and give her another try. I will give her 3 tries. On the 3rd attempt, if she still won't raise a litter, then I'll have to decide whether I want to foster her babies each and every time or just get rid of her. She's a very nice doe. She hasn't been shown, so she doesn't have any legs. I can't remember. I believe I took her and got her registered a few days after I brought her home. So I believe she's registered. We are getting ready to breed for the fall babies, and so I'm looking forward to breeding her again real soon, and we're going to hope that she does a much better job on her 2nd litter. Alright, next up we have Funky Town, and Funky Town is still fairly new to me. Actually, all these white New Zealands are new to me because I just recently, within a year ago, got back into white New Zealands. The only one that's been here for quite a while for these does is Cotton Plant. She's right at a year old, so she's been here for a while. Anyway, Funky Town, I got her 3 or 4 months ago. I brought her home and I bred her. I believe she was bred to Zircon, and she had 2 babies, and she still has those 2. And these 2 are, they should be weaned, but the truth of the matter is, it's summertime. I'm not currently breeding. All the does have gotten a long break to to stay as cool as they can during the heat. And there's only 2. They're not fighting or being a nuisance to Mom, so I've just left them here. I haven't even really looked at them other than checking them to make sure they're eating well, which you can see. These guys, I'm guessing, are about 10 weeks old now, somewhere in that neighborhood, and looking really great. They're eating well. No one's getting pushed off feed. No one's fighting. They're not biting each other. Everyone's getting along just fine, so I just haven't seen a reason to go ahead and wean them. So I've just left them with Mom. But since I'm getting ready to breed her for fall season, I will be pulling these babies out of this cage pretty soon and putting them in their own. And hopefully at that time we'll know if we have bucks or does. I've been very doe heavy in the whites this summer. Alright, then right up here we have Glazypeau. Truthfully, I'm not 100% sure that's how that's pronounced. I will type the name below. It is a town here in Arkansas, and I thought it was fitting for her, so I named her Glazypeau. And I bred her, I believe she was bred to Columbus as soon as I got her home. Now, I've only had this young doe for about 2 months. I think I got her, I can't remember if it was May 15th or June 15th. It may have been May 15th. So maybe I've had her about 2.5 months. Anyway, so that would mean that these babies are roughly 6 weeks old. I believe she was bred to Columbus. Not 100% sure. And she had 4 kits, and she still has 4. And they're doing well. Like I said, they're about 6 weeks old. They're eating good. They're looking healthy. So here in a couple weeks, they will be ready to wean. I'll probably breed mom next week and wean the babies the week after. We got to get ready for those fall babies. Alright, and then underneath Glazypeau we have Potato Hill. Yes, believe it or not, Potato Hill is the name of a town in Arkansas. She, I believe, was bred to Zircon before Zircon left, and she only had the 2 babies. All these does, by the way, are registered. I got them registered shortly after I brought them home. Anyway, I bred her, I believe, to Zircon, and she had 2 kits, and she still have the 2 kits. They are roughly 4 weeks old now, in that neighborhood. And so I'm really looking forward to these guys growing up. So far, they're looking really great. Still eating well. I was concerned about one of them having an injured leg because it was growing so fast, but as it's been maturing, it's been pulling its leg back in, so I think it'll probably be just fine. Alright, and our last white doe is this young lady, Sugarloaf. These last 3 does, Glazypeau, Potato Hill, and Sugarloaf, I got, I think it was May 15th, so they've been here about 6 weeks. And this young lady here, Sugarloaf, I bred, oh my goodness, I wished I could remember. I kind of think it might have been Rocky that she was bred to. I'll write it below because I can't remember. But she only had 1 kit. I was really hoping for a bigger litter out of her. Now, Sugarloaf is, I sent off for her documents. They have not come in yet. But she is registered. I'm just waiting on the certificate to come in. And she also has her Grand Championship. So I'm waiting on that document. Now, in addition, Sugarloaf has a Best in Show. If I'm not mistaken, I think she has a Best in Show and a Reserve in Show win on her. And so I have also sent off for her Best in Show certificate. So a very, very nice young lady. And so I hope to get a bigger litter out of her this fall. If not, hopefully I get some really nice young ladies out of her to replace her with, and hopefully we will have bigger litters with the offspring. Anyway, we will breed her again pretty soon, and this fall we'll hope to see bigger litters for her. Alright, and that is going to bring us to our bucks. We have 6 white does, and we have 3 white bucks. And this young man right here, I picked him up last year at Nationals, and I showed him, and within just a couple of shows he earned all of his legs, and so he is a registered grand champion. This is Columbus. I do have a young doe held back out of him and Cotton Plant that will show you here just shortly. Okay, and in this cage we have Rocky Mountain High. Now Rocky Mountain High is an older buck. He's about 3 years old, I guess. Now Rocky Mountain High is the father, the sire to Zircon. I picked him up at the same time that I picked up Glazypeau, Potato Hill, and Sugarloaf. He too is registered, and he has his grand championship, and this young guy here has a best in show win on him as well. So he's waiting on his 3 certificates. All the paperwork has been sent in. ARBA has been closed due to the COVID, and I have been getting some of the registration papers in, but they're coming in very slowly, and so I expect to see some more come in, and pretty soon I should be getting those grand champion certificates and the best in show certificates as well. Anyway, so this is Rocky Mountain High, and he is Zircon's sire. Now, I mentioned earlier that Zircon has been sold to another breeder here in Arkansas, and the reason I let him go was because I had his dad coming. Otherwise, Zircon would have stayed here because Zircon was a very nice buck, but Dad just happens to be a better buck, and I was able to keep him, and so I have Zircon's father, and we just call him Rocky, Rocky Mountain High. Alright, and below that is my 3rd white herd sire. This is White Rock, and this is Zircon's son. You met Cotton Plant, who was the first doe that I kept out of Zircon and Garnet. Well, this is her brother, White Rock. Now, White Rock has several legs. He's got 5 or 6 legs, and I went to get him granded, and somehow or another I missed the fact that all those legs were when he was a junior. I don't have a senior leg on him. So I'm hoping, I plan to show him this spring and finish off his grand championship, but unfortunately we didn't have any shows this spring. Not since February. It was I think I went to one in March. So, I don't know, February or March. Either way, we have not had any shows. So I hope this fall I can get him on a show. And then this young lady here is another Zircon and Garnet breeding. I think she's still a junior, but she might be getting close to that 6-month mark, so she might be an intermediate pretty soon. But she is one of the does I held back to put on the show team. I was hoping to breed her, or not breed her, show her during the fall season, or spring season, But again, we didn't have any spring shows, but she's not old enough to breed just yet. And so hopefully we'll have some shows this fall, and she will be shown this fall as an intermediate, and hopefully we can earn some legs on her pretty soon. I have not given her a name yet. She's just sitting in here waiting to be shown. That's pretty much all she's done, is just sit here and eat food because we haven't had. Next to her, we have yet another Zircon and Garnet doe. She's younger. She was from the last litter. She's just about 3 months old now. She was the last litter out of Zircon and Garnet before they left. And so she is the doe I hope to show this fall as a junior. Okay, and these are the last of the whites. This is 2 more young does, junior does, that I hope to show this fall. One of them, I believe this one, yep, there's the ear number. This one is out of Columbus and Cotton Plant. And this one in the back is out of Zircon and Snow, before Snow left. And so got these 2 does growing out. They are about 3 or 4 months old. I think they're about 4 months old. And so again, these are 2 that I hope to show this fall as juniors. And of these 3, I've got the 3 juniors. I will only keep 1, maybe 2. Of these 3 young junior white does, I will probably only keep 2 or maybe even just 1. I haven't decided for sure. Unfortunately, all 3 of these are very, very nice, and I haven't been able to make a decision on them. So I'm just going to hang on to all 3 of them until they're a little bit bigger. I'll get them on the show table and see how they mature. And I may just keep them all, breed them all, and see what they do on their first litters before I decide which one to keep long term. I don't know yet, but they will all 3 be here for a little while, unless something drastic happens. I have no intentions of moving any of these 3 for a while yet. Okay, so that's it for the first episode in meeting the herd. Today we took a look at all the whites that we currently have, including the last of the summer babies. Funky Town had a couple of babies. Glazypeau has 4. Potato Hill had 2, and Sugarloaf had 1. That's the last of the summer babies. We don't have any more litters coming at this time because the ladies have had several weeks rest from the heat, but we will be breeding them again pretty soon so that we can start getting babies for the fall season. So I hope you've enjoyed meeting the New Zealand white herd. Please stay tuned, because coming up next, you're going to meet the blue New Zealand herd. Thanks for watching, and until we speak again, God bless.